Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on tonight? It is Monday night. It is just a little past 7 o'clock, which means that it is time, for the one and the only, me, it is the Big Time Show that is being seen and heard live to Facebook on my personal page and my the Big Time Show Facebook page as well as the YouTube of the Sports Empire Network, and of course the Big Time Show YouTube page, also being seen and heard on Twitch and live Twitter now as we speak. And then it's being heard on, of course, the original home of the podcast, which is Podbean. And I appreciate all of you who are or who will join. And of course, for those that may be listening on this replay on Google Podcasts and iHeartRadio and Pandora and LinkedIn and all the other places where the Big Time Show is. Listen, I'm just glad to be with you on tonight to talk a little Cowboy football once again. It's getting a little serious and closer to training camp, even though we're guys are getting ready to take off and get themselves ready for really the season, to be honest with you. It's what people are going to try to make a team preseason. It'll be here before you know it. Training camp will be here before you know it, which leads, of course, to the regular season. So it's slowly but surely about to be, get real serious. Really with every team in the NFL. Everybody has the same schedule. Everybody has the same number of players for training camp. It is getting about to become extremely serious in football land. I'm getting excited. College football is right around the corner. It won't be long. And that usually is the indication that pro football is on the way. Listen, before I get started on this Freestyle Monday, listen, if you're on Facebook, the Big Time Show Facebook page or my personal page, you'll notice that you see those stars there. You can contribute that way if you so desire. You don't have to, but if you want to support the podcast, and that's one way you can do it. I ask that you would share as well. Share my little video here, my little live video to maybe a Cowboy fan or a Cowboy hater that may be interested. If you're on YouTube, in particular the Big Time Show YouTube page, if you're on the Big Time Show YouTube page, you notice that you can contribute by that super chat button there. And all you have to do is just hit it, and you can do whatever you want to do if you want to. If you're not, then it's still cool. All right. Let's talk a little Cowboy football on this Freestyle Monday. I started off, but let me say hello to, oh Lord, Eastside is in the building. Eastside Harold, Chief Cowboy hater who has nothing to do with troll Cowboy content creators. But I mean, when you can't do nothing with your own team, I guess you go pick on everybody else. So I guess that's what. What's up, Greg? I see you. What's up, Eastside? You ain't got nothing better to do because you sure ain't watching your Texans right now. I know you're young and excited, but you ain't done nothing. Okay. Let's talk Cowboy talk. I started off real quick. We get into this this same predicaments and same situations every single year in the matter of free agents. It's the same thing. Hey, Terrell, it's the same thing uh, in free agents. We hear a name, uh, a big name, ESPN, Fox. Usually, one of the first couple names that you hear about the potential landing spot of these big name guys. Usually, you hear the Cowboys. Um, it just never fails, and Cowboy fans. I kid you not. I am in at least. I know it has to be at least. One day I'm gonna get the extra count. I got to be in at least 15 plus Cowboy groups. Um, and when you're in that many groups, Cowboy groups, there's just so many opinions and so many statements, so many things that are worth discussing. And then there are some things that are not even worth mentioning. But you can't tell that to a Cowboy fan. Cowboy fans, some of us are ridiculous. Some of us we're just not right. We're just not. We're unrealistic at times. And sometimes we are. But it's nothing wrong with dreaming. I'll say that. And who knows, maybe one day Dallas Cowboys will fool all of us. I'm speaking in terms of the newest name that I saw today that I, on paper or um, on Madden maybe, it's beautiful. In a good world, it would work. Um, the name I heard today was that of Dalvin Cook. And one of the first teams that I heard that the potential landing spot would be the Cowboys. It makes sense. And here's the reason why. It makes sense because if we are really going to run the ball like we say we are, then adding a Dalvin Cook to your team, it won't hurt you. Let's get that real clear. It will only help you. Certainly, we're talking about one of the better running backs in the league. Been that way for a few years now. Just in case you haven't heard, Minnesota, it looks like they're about to make him they're going to release him. Don't want to pay him the money that they owe him for this year. I think that's $10 million, I believe, something along those lines. They don't want to pay him, so the word is that he is going to be cut. The other name that does make sense are the Miami Dolphins for him. And I really believe that might be the place, personally, where I think he's going to land. They need him over there. But Cowboy fans are already begging. Jerry, go get him. Steven, what y'all waiting on? Go get him. Go get him. He's perfect. He's perfect. He'll be the perfect 1-2 punch. First of all, ladies and gentlemen, you gotta use football sense here. Number one, Tony Pollard is on his looks like we still got time, but it looks like let's just say this. As of now, Tony Pollard will be on the franchise tag, which means this is just his 1 year. At least as of now. If the Cowboys decide we're not gonna give him another franchise tag, that's it. He's gone. And of course, the Cowboys have time to sign him to a long-term deal before the season starts, or there's a deadline on that. I don't know if that's gonna happen or not, but all I know is we got Tony Pollard for this year. Well, if you add a Dalvin Cook, here's the first question. This is the reason why it ain't gonna happen, y'all. I'm just gonna go on, skip across the field and Just gonna bust y'all bubbles for those who really have hope of Dalvin Cook joining the Dallas Cowboys. Number one, Dalvin Cook still is a starter in this league, a bona fide number one starter. He's not coming to no place to be a number two type guy. Tony Pollard is at the point now where he's not going to be a number two guy, no matter if y'all think he can carry the load or not. He's elevated himself to the point where he should be considered a number one running back. That's what the Cowboys think of him. That's why Zeke Elliott is gone. That's why they franchise tagged him. They know how much he means to this offense, and they look at Tony Pollard as if he is a number one. Dalvin Cook is not coming here to be nobody's backup. He's still that good. He still got plenty of gas in the tank. He still is incredibly dangerous. And he is a number one running back. There's no question about that. He's not coming here for that. Number two, if the Cowboys were to sign him, you really trust our good cheap cap guy in Stephen Jones? I mean, if Minnesota is about to release him for 10 million, they don't want to pay that $10+ million. What do you think that Stephen Jones gonna offer this dude? Man, come on now. Come on now. You know that Stephen Jones is not gonna offer him the right deal. And it's gonna be a bidding war anyway, which always happens to these big name free agents when they call the Cowboy name out. Usually what that means is that's just furthering their brand. Use the biggest brand in the NFL to draw attention, which is what they do. If you say you're going to the Cowboys, you'll be leading off just about you'll be on Sports Center, pretty much right at the top of Sports Center, because it's Dallas Cowboy affiliated. So of course throw the Cowboys name out. That gets the other teams interested, saying, "Oh, wait a minute, Dallas. Oh, okay, well, let's go put our bid in. It's gonna be a bidding war. Kind of like same thing with DeAndre Hopkins. Heard Dallas name. Now there's about 6 or 7 teams that say, "Hey, we want his services." It's a bidding war. Dalvin Cook is gonna be the same way. If Minnesota cut him at $10 million a piece, I promise you, some team will get just about as close to 10, if not more, for Dalvin Cook services. I can see it happening. He's still that good. But the Cowboys are not going to do that. Y'all know that. The Cowboys are set in their ways. The Cowboys kind of know what they want to do. If you listen to Stephen Jones today, you heard him say, you even mentioned Ronald Jones' name today. So, I don't understand why everybody think we got it, which leads to another name. Again, football-wise, it would make sense. But this is the Dallas Cowboys. This is Stephen Jones we're talking about. That name is Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry. Yeah, that Derrick Henry from Tennessee. His name has been mentioned with the Dallas Cowboys. Would be a perfect blend with Tony Pollard. Speed and power oh my God. It would also mean that the Cowboys would definitely be running the football if you go get a Derrick Henry. Oh wow. I mean, can you imagine that? It makes sense. But y'all know that ain't gonna happen. I saw all this in the chat. Saying I'd rather have Derrick Henry than Dalvin Cook. Look, I mean, and we really get upset with guys with Steve and Jerry for not making these moves when football wise or strategic game planning wise, it makes sense. I'll give you that. I mean, if you want to pound the football, I mean, a Tony Pollard, Derrick Henry combination would be lethal. Oh, it's no doubt about that. But I got the same question because you can't look at it from a football standpoint. You got to look at it from a business standpoint. I mean, what are you gonna pay Derrick Henry on that? Who still has a lot of juice left? Who's also looking for big money? Trust me, some team will give Derrick Henry a gigantic contract. They would. I guarantee it. He's still Derrick Henry. It ain't nothing slowed down Derrick Henry. He's still the man. I would love football wise Derrick Henry. It would make perfect sense, but you really believe you gonna insult Derrick? I mean, Steve, I almost be scared to be in the room with Derrick Henry, age and Stephen Jones, and Stephen Jones push that paper to him and say, "Here's our offer." I would almost be scared to see what that offer would be. How insulting it would be to a guy of Derrick Henry's caliber. I would. Because you know he ain't offering him double digits, which is what Derrick Henry wants. Double digit in salary, $10+ million. He's just not gonna do it. Y'all know he's not. There's nowhere in the world. And if you sign him, you'll be a fool if you only sign him to a 1-year deal because Tony Pollard's on the franchise. So you gonna take the chance of losing both of them in the same year, all season? Nah. We're just not gonna. We're just not. It just doesn't make business wise sense. Football sense, since we say we want to run the ball and really run the rock this year, it would make perfect sense. I'll give you that. Y'all know they ain't gonna stay. They're not gonna offer him the right type of money. Y'all know that. Gray say, would you trade Derrick Henry for Tony Pollard with both 1-year deal, yes or no, with the drafting of Deuce? Yes, I would. Great. I would do that only because Derrick Henry is proven. I know what he is as a number one running back. Pollard, even though we know how explosive he is, we know how dangerous he is, we still haven't seen him be the number one guy over a full season. See, when you more than the number one guy, you just can't get the ball 13, 14 times a game, 12 times like he was doing with last year. Get the ball 11 times, 12 times. That's it. He still made a Pro Bowl from it. I mean, we know that. But when you the number one guy, can you carry that rock even though it's a different, the Cowboys love the 2-3 back system, but the number one running back usually gonna get the ball, or you should get the ball at least somewhere between probably 17 to 22 times a game. Can Pollard do that for 17 weeks? We don't know that yet. I do know that about Derrick Henry. Other than his foot injury, we know what he's all about. He can catch the ball. He's not as explosive as Tony Pollard is, but he is Derrick Henry. King Henry is what they call him. If he's healthy, which most of the time he is, he can get you dang near 2,000 yards. That's been proven. We done seen it. Inside the 5-yard line, he just about as guaranteed as you can get. And Would I do it? I would, but they ain't gonna do that. And then here's the other thing, and I'm not saying Derrick Henry is just as slow as Christmas, which he's not. But if you can tell, you can tell by the signing that the Cowboys did today and signing Tyler Johnson, the wide receiver. For those who don't know him, the way I look at it is it's just another camp body. But the kid can run a 4-3-4, another wide receiver, another guy that can stretch the field. But I think it's just I can just see, I can see, what this is all about. We got too many wide receivers in front of him, too many wide receivers that the Cowboys are depending on. The way I look at it, just another camp body. We're probably going to end up getting cut at the last part of the, whatever. It's just something you got to keep in mind. Our guys, a lot of our guys will not be playing in the preseason at all. And so you got to have guys that's going to suit up for the game, for the preseason game. So you need as many camp bodies as you can get. Remember, we can have 90 players in the preseason. So the way I look at it is these are just guys who are going to get a real good shot in game days or game nights. Put some nice film up for themselves, and maybe a team will let them catch on to their team. But it's just hard for me to believe that the guy would do it. Well, that's the same thing I'm saying about, I see somebody asked about Deuce. Well, I don't know if Deuce going to be the number. I mean, what is Deuce going to be, the number 3? Because if you get a Derrick Henry and Pollard, that's 1A and 1B. So Deuce will be your number 3. I mean, I'm just saying, I don't. But the Cowboys are not going to do that. Would it solve the running game dilemmas, or would it would make sense to do that? But as I said, there's more than just what the football side is. This just moves that we just don't make. It would be a Super Bowl move if you would put a Derrick Henry on this team. It would be no question. It would be no question. That would send a message to the fan base that, look, we're going for it. We're going for it. If you will put him on this team, I would feel real good about this. But I'm not even entertaining it because I know how Stephen Jones operates. And y'all do too. So I don't know why people are getting hyped and excited about a situation that they know it just does not happen with us. It just does not. It just doesn't. And so I'm not even going to entertain it. I just say this: if it happens, I'll be the first one on here and say, "Wow," like, "Oh my goodness." I'll be doing that, and then I'll say, "Hey, it's serious business." But Cowboy history proves that I shouldn't even be talking about this, because I just know how Stephen Jones operates. I mean, seriously, it would make sense. Trust me, McCarthy would love it. Oh man, can you imagine Derrick Henry? Look. Everybody forgot Tyler Biotis was a Pro Bowler last year. So what that means is let me see. Tyron Smith is a Hall of Fame lineman, nowhere near what he once was. But still, if he's healthy, he's still better than, just about, 80% of tackles. Zach Martin, I ain't got to say nothing about him. We all know how great he is. Still great. Tyler Biotis is a Pro Bowl player. I believe Tyler Smith will be a Pro Bowl player, because there was an argument last year that he should have made it last year. So the way I'm looking at it is, and we all know what everybody was saying about Terrence Steele before he got hurt. he was considered to be on his way to his first Pro Bowl. So, I mean, we legitimately have at least 3 to 4 guys who are Pro Bowl caliber players from the offensive line position. Can you imagine a Derrick Henry behind this type of line? Oh my God. But I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let me go to the last running back. I'm sorry. But y'all still crying about Ezekiel Elliott. Y'all want Ezekiel Elliott back. That ain't gonna happen either. And it ain't because of business side. It's not because of all that side. It's simply because that even though Zeke was productive in my book, but we all know Zeke is not the same guy. Now, when you watch Zeke on his workout videos, he looked like one of the greatest running backs of all time because he's running against air. He run, he's screaming, he hollering, he jump cutting. All of a sudden, he doing all that, but you don't never see that in the game. Y'all know this. Y'all know why y'all entertain. It's almost remind me of the Dez Bryant situation when Dez was just sitting out there, just waiting. Everybody thought, go get Dez, and for the feel good story. The Cowboys ain't got time for no feel good stories. The reason why the Cowboys let Zeke go is because they feel he is not the same guy. He's nowhere near close to it. That's what the Cowboys feel. That's why they let him go. They ain't all of a sudden nothing changed their mind. They could have signed Zeke long time ago. They're not signing Zeke back. If they do, I'm gonna be like, okay, well. I mean, he's durable. I give you that. It's just when he get the ball, we just know he's going for that 1 yard up the middle. Y'all know it's the truth. Shane say we keep talking about receivers. Running backs, etc. I have to remind people we need a quality field goal kicker. Y'all getting tired of holding your breath on field goals and extra points, but who we gonna get, Shane? I mean, there are no the free agents that you're looking for a name. So usually those guys are already on the team. Okay. That's just the truth. If you're talking about names that's on the couch but had a name, then there's a reason why they're on the couch. You know, that's just the truth. We didn't draft no kicker because the Cowboys don't draft kickers. So that's out of the question. So then where are you going where are you gonna find your guy? The USFL? I mean, you got some guys there that are kicking the ball pretty good. And they know it won't be no time off. They'll leave the USFL field and come straight to the NFL field. They're there, but I'm just saying, who you gonna get? If they're worth something, they're all really on. You know, I ain't saying the guys on the couch aren't worth anything. I'm just saying, if you're looking for one of those guys that you don't have to hold your breath over, where are they? Who is it? They're probably experienced kickers who are at the house. You might have a guy, you know, once they start doing the cuts from all of the training camp, I'm quite sure you have plenty of kickers from that pool. But then, you know, it's a reason why other teams gonna cut them. So if they cut them, then why have they been cut? And why would you sign them? So I don't. And see, here's the thing: the field goal kickers, obviously for OTAs, they were already there. So we just ain't heard from them. But it's kickers that are kicking there now. We just ain't had no talk about it. It's somebody up there kicking, and I'm quite sure they already got somewhat of a resume already built on them, on those guys that have been there kicking for a while. And they kicking from 60, 70 yards and trying to get some accuracy and see how. I mean, we just don't know because they don't talk about that. We don't know. They could very well, Shane, be satisfied with what they have already. We just don't know. I don't even know who they got up there kicking. I don't even know who they had up there. I don't know. But the guys, Shane, that you can kind of say, okay, I feel good about that. Those guys will be type probably coming off the couch. And you hope they can go back and go into their, memory lane, if you want to call it that, and kick like they did so that they can stay in the league. That's the only thing that I can see. That's the only thing that I can see. I don't know what those people are. I don't know. Hey Joe says, what's up? I'm gonna share your video, but I'll watch it tomorrow. Got something to do early tomorrow, so I'll catch you next time. Appreciate you, Joe. Appreciate you sharing. Appreciate you so much. Thank you. I agree with you though, Shane. It need to be addressed, but my counterpoint is it might have already been addressed. We just don't hear nothing. We haven't heard Coach Bones talk too much. Press conference, the only press conference I've seen is Coach McCarthy, the players, Steven and Jerry, and I saw one by Dan Quinn. One. I haven't heard anything from Coach Bones about field goal or special teams, period. So your guess is as good as mine. I have no idea what the plan is for them. I have no idea where they're going with it. They might have already addressed it. They might be satisfied with what they are working with right there in practice. We just have to see. Eastside Harold with the $2 super chat says, D'Amico Ryans will be the coach of the year, for your information. Oh my God. Once again, he tries to interrupt Cowboy talk with Texan talk. Please, God. So I don't know. Appreciate the $2 super chat though, Eastside. But I see you, Shane, but they might have already addressed it. Seriously. I ain't saying they have. I'm just saying they may have already addressed it. May have already done it. We just don't know. And there's a lot of time between now and training camp to figure this thing out. It's like I said, if they're that good, those guys are already on teams. Already. So you got to go to the couch, or you're impressed with a guy from the USFL. Hey, Apostle Anderson, what's up, dude? When it comes to field goal kickers, if you had a name, they're already signed to a team. There are no Justin Tuckers that's just floating around. They're not. Mason Crosby is sitting at home. Big name, solid kicker over the years, but there's a reason why he on the couch and not signed somewhere. Monty Mayer, who we just had last year. Well, we know he was awesome at first, then he got real shaky at the end. Well, they probably don't want to deal with him no more. So the big name guys, that had some type of reputation, they're probably on the couch. Because if they weren't on, if they really, really worth it, they would already be locked in on the team. Good question, Paul Sanders. I've already been saying that for the last few weeks. We don't know. That's what I said on my last show. That the running back room is question marks at every name on our running back room. Is the one position group on our team that it's just a whole lot of questions. You just answered the main one. Is Pollard gonna be healthy? And if he's not, when will he be? That's the only question about him. Here's the next question. Who's our number 2 running back? I mean, is it Ronald Jones? Is it Davis, Malik Davis? I know it's not Deuce Vaughn. You know what I'm saying? Here's a question. And then number 2, there's question marks about Ronald Jones. They don't think he's the same guy. I ain't saying the Cowboys don't, but they don't think he's the same guy from Tampa. Okay. If Malik Davis, they didn't trust Malik Davis enough to give him the ball when Tony Pollard went out of the playoff game. They went strictly to Ezekiel Elliott. That was it. They didn't even give the ball to Malik Davis. They didn't even trust him enough to even put him in the game, in the playoff game last year. That's how much they think of Malik Davis. The kid from North Dakota State, the rookie. Well, there it is. He's a rookie. You gonna trust him? I mean, it's question mark. Rico Dow, can he ever stay healthy? See, the question marks are all over the running back room, which is why I was talking about. There was 2 names that came up. I don't think it's realistic, but it makes football sense, but it doesn't make business sense. And those names were Dalvin Cook, which Dallas name came up. I don't believe it's really true at all. And then Derrick Henry. Henry would make tremendous sense to me because I know then that you are going to run the ball. Now, I ain't saying Derrick Henry would do his Tennessee Titan load, 27, 28 times a game. No, I ain't saying that. But he would get the ball. And if Pollard was healthy, that would be one of the greatest 1-2 punches you would ever see. He says, what's the status on Henry? The status is that they say that Tennessee is probably going to cut him because they don't want to pay him, which is the reason why I don't think the Cowboys will do it, because you can't insult that man by bringing him anywhere. And it would be a bidding war for Henry because Henry would be wanted by, a lot of teams. So then he would be able to sign anywhere he wants to. So he's going to go to the highest bidder. You know that. And I don't think Stephen Jones would even come close to an offer that is respectable for a guy like Henry. Henry has earned the right to say, I want to make $12 million a year. I want to make $11 million a year. I want to make $10 million a year. He's earned the right to say that. I just can't see Stephen Jones even doing that because you had a problem getting money for Tony Pollard. That's why he's on the franchise tag. So I know you ain't going to respect Henry enough. But it makes football sense. Oh, it makes football sense. It makes total football sense. But business-wise, the Cowboys ain't going to do that. But back to the field goal kicker from Shane. I wouldn't be surprised, seriously. I'm not saying this is the case, Shane. I would not be surprised if they are looking partially at the USFL. There's some guys that is kicking the ball. I wouldn't be surprised at all. It's gonna be some kickers that are kicking presently now in the USFL. It's gonna transfer straight over to the NFL, and they're gonna make a team. I wouldn't be surprised at all. I said, what's the deal with Diggs being up in the air with Dallas? Well, it's contract negotiation time. They informed his group, his agent, that they're willing to try to do a contract negotiation now. Stephen Jones just said today that he would like to have 2 or 3 of these deals done before training camp begins. So there's an indication, slightly, of course, that the Cowboys are ready to try to take care of a couple of guys because they got to, because you got more guys coming up. Parsons, Dak has to be done before he can opt out of his contract in 2023, which is this season. We got to take care of some of these guys. You don't want to Diggs and Parsons and Dak, you know, all these guys trying to get paid at the same time. Somebody ain't gonna make it. So you got to try to do something now. So Diggs is just that time. No numbers have been given yet. It's just the Cowboys just making their way, which is another thing. They're trying to go through the media. Steven put that out there. Trying to paint a picture and say, hey, we tried. But he gave out a key today, which is true. The key is that most guys like to play it out because they bet on themselves. And if they have a pretty good year, the price tag will go up. When in Diggs' case, look, if Diggs have a gigantic year this year, he's going to be the highest paid cornerback in the league next year. The question then becomes, are the Dallas Cowboys going to want to pay that? See, Diggs is in a position, he's almost in a position like Dak was when Dak got hurt. If Diggs was to get hurt, he'll still get paid the same amount of money. He's that good. So I believe Diggs may just very well bet on himself and have a great year and another All-Pro or another Pro Bowl year, and that ain't gonna do nothing to drive their price tag up. I wouldn't be surprised if Diggs, if he have a big year, man. We talking about probably a $20 million cornerback next year. And keep in mind, we ain't even got to what Parsons gonna make. Oh my God. So the Cowboys are trying to get things done before they end up having to pay some of their main guys, at the same time, which would virtually be impossible. To be honest with you, they really need to go ahead and take care of that. Because see, if you take care of that opens up everything. Now you really know what you're playing with. Because Dak is going to get the biggest piece of the pie. You know that. I would try to get him out of the way. I mean, we already know we stuck with him. We going to sign him. It ain't no question about that. We might as well go on get him out the way so we'll know how much left we got so we can go on try to take care of everybody else. That's what I would do, but I'm not a negotiator. I'm not on their level. I just think that once you take care of your quarterback first, that will answer the questions for everything else. Not go from the bottom side up. You need to start from the top down. It almost sounds like church right there, Apostle Anderson. Let me stop. That's that preach. You need to go from the top down and let it flow down, not from the bottom up. That's what stuff get confusing. Oh my. Oh, yeah. So that's what's going on with Diggs. It's just he's up now. So they're slowly but surely trying to figure out what they need to do, at least try to get a vibe. That's what I'm thinking of what he think he ought to be getting. And I just think that Diggs is at that point where when it's his time, I just think that he's going to be the highest paid cornerback in the league. And yes, that means over Jalen Ramsey. Yeah, I really do believe that. I think he's going to be the highest paid cornerback in the league once it's all said and done. Once it's all said and done, he is going to be the highest paid guy in the league. I believe it. Paul said, did we really get what we needed from the draft? Yeah. But remember, the draft was not a really top end type draft. You really didn't have a lot of great players. You had the quarterbacks. Bryce Young was considered one of the, pretty good quarterback, and C.J. Stroud with the Texans, good quarterback, and Will Anderson, that's with the Texans, probably the best defensive player. After those first 4 to 5, 6 guys, you just ran into a bunch of good players. I'm not trying to by no means say they're trash or anything like that. I'm just saying it really was not a lot. But what we got, we did pretty good, if you ask me. There really weren't a lot of spots for guys to immediately be day one starters on this team. When you look at the offense and defense, I mean, where really can you say, okay, we need a day one starter? We don't need it. We don't have it. So the way I look at it is, now we did find a day one starter out of Mozzie Smith, the defensive tackle. I think he starts immediately. But other than that, everybody else is kind of a depth guy. The tight end that we got, Shoemaker, he's not going to be a starter. Jake Ferguson will be. We got Overshawn. I love him. I love him, the way he plays. I love him, but he's not a starter. He's going to be a great depth player. The kid that we got from San Jose State, the pass rusher, I mean, good Lord. He going to have to fight just to get on the field, to be honest with you. I mean, everybody we got is really for depth. Everybody. Except Mozzie. Not saying those guys are not going to get playing time either. They are. But they're just depth players. Not day one, except Mozzie. That's it. So I think that we strengthened with our depth. I believe that happened. But we won't know some of the outcome of some of these players until year 2 or year 3. That's the way I feel about it. We still trying to figure out players from our draft from 2 years ago. We still trying to figure out guys from last year's draft. We still trying to figure out about Jalen Tolbert and Sam Williams. We trying to figure those guys out. Get these guys that's coming up. We got to find out about these guys first. So we got to figure out if we gonna re-sign these guys. Really not a lot of spots that's open, offense and defense. It's really not. Offensive line pretty much is set other than left guard. Running back position, got depth there. You drafted, Deuce Vaughn was drafted, but Deuce gonna probably be our 3rd or 4th running back. See what I'm saying? So, running back is filled. Quarterback, obviously, no competition there. Wide receivers, our first 3 receivers are already set. That ain't, Lamb, Cooks, Gallup, our first 3 receivers are already set. A wide receiver coming in here is battling for number 4. automatically from the top. Defensively, the defensive line now, what's up, Spoonie? Defensive line with Mozzie being there, that may have been the only question mark. Defensive end, ain't nobody finna sit D-Law down. We paid Dorrance Armstrong, so nobody finna sit him down. You got Sam Williams there. We got depth everywhere. Linebackers, LVE's playing. Michael Parsons obviously is playing. You got Harper. You got Damone Clark. Now you put Overshawn there. Overshawn number 3, right there. Maybe number 2. I ain't even talking about Cox yet. The Baltimore Ravens got OBJ, Paul Anderson. They got OBJ. The Baltimore Ravens did. Yes, this is live, Gabe. What's up? This is live. Secondary. Well, we got Stephon Gilmore and Diggs. Those are your 2 starters. Then we got Curse as a safety. We got Donovan Wilson as a safety. We still got Malik Hook as a safety. That's set. Ain't nobody interrupting that. So I'm saying there's really not a lot of spots that are open for guys to come in and start. We all know that at least Dan Quinn loves to interchange guys in the lineup. We got so many different packages. Well, a lot of guys get a lot of playing time. So just because they don't start, they'll get time. Offensively, I just don't see it. I don't know who you are, Gabe, with that comment, but that'll be your last one. Appreciate you. It is. So to answer your question again, no, listen, I think we did well as far as depth, adding to our depth, strengthening our depth. I think we did a good job on that. I do. We go to Podbean. Hey, Farnu. The only question on offense is left guard. And let me just go through that real quick. First of all, Terrence Steele is the wild card. If Terrence Steele is not ready, yeah, I got him on out of coach. I don't even play like that. I don't even play like that. Go find somebody else to play with. Eastside Harold, Cowboy hater spring. Big time, you talking like Dallas defense going to be like the 85 Bears defense. No, you talking a total different level when you say that. But what I am saying about this year's defense is since you've been on my show, you already heard what I said. The Dallas Cowboy defense will be a top 5 defense this year. They was that last year. They only got better. When you add a Stephon Gilmore to this team, you didn't get worse. Listen, you can be a Cowboy hater all you want. Let's just be realistic. You add a Stephon Gilmore on this team, you did not get worse. You got better. When you add a talent, and it remains to be seen, when you add a talent like Mozzie, who I think is going to be just fine, and you add a talent like a Overshawn to this thing, when you get a year 2 Sam Williams, well, I think he's going to make a tremendous jump this year. And then you get another year of Michael Parsons being even better than what he was. You got to keep in mind, it's only his 3rd year coming up. Then you add in another year with Trayvon Diggs, who's only going to get better. Yeah, this is a top 5 defense. Barring real injury here, this is a top 5 defense. I have no question in my mind. No, they ain't the 85 Bears. No, they're not the 85 Bears. They're not the Baltimore Ravens. I just feel like that this team is just gonna be so speedy that it's gonna be hard to move the ball against these guys. I really do. Yeah, coach, I'm gonna do it tonight. I'm gonna take calls tonight. I'm gonna do a couple of them tonight. So again, football sense, some of this stuff makes real sense, football wise. But business sense wise, the Cowboys are not going to do it. And the only reason why I brought up those two names, because I've been about 15 Cowboy chats, and for some reason, you know, in the chat it's picking up steam about the name Derrick Henry, and a few people, even though I know this one not gonna happen, about Dalvin Cook. Football sense, since we want to run the ball so much, yeah, it would make sense. More Henry than Dalvin Cook, but business sense wise, you already know Stephen Jones ain't gonna do right. Y'all know that. So I won't even entertain it. I think we're off to a great start. Cowboys are actually making right decisions, to be honest with you. And the right decision is, Mike, some of y'all mad at Mike McCarthy because he said, well, when it comes to DeAndre Hopkins, you know, I like the guys in our room, you know, like that. It's smart. That's smart. I don't want DeAndre Hopkins on this team. Because I know for real, then you're going to pass the ball like crazy. Yeah, it would be matchup problems. Yes, it would if you put a DeAndre Hopkins on this team. But again, guys like him demand respect as far as contract goes. Cowboys are not going. You got to pay CeeDee Lamb. You had to pay CeeDee Lamb coming up. Why you gonna pay somebody like DeAndre Hopkins a crazy amount of money because it's a bidding war for him, and you got to turn right back around and pay CeeDee Lamb? What kind of sense they make? In Madden and football sense wise, yeah, you can imagine the matchup nightmares that would cause. Oh yeah, no doubt. This is not bigger business. This is more than just fantasy football. This is business. All right. Let me make sure I got my stuff together here before I do this. We got to be realistic, Cowboy fans. Eastside, y'all can have D-Hop. I hope he come home too. I do. I hope he come back home to y'all too. But if I was a betting man, I would say that Cleveland looks mighty attractive to him. That's what I'm gonna say about that. Let me make sure I'm ready to rock. All right, we're gonna try it. All right, phone line is open. Phone line is open. You go on, call in now. Let's see what stuff is together here. Phone line is open. There you see the number on the ticker. Somebody calling in.
Call from Eastside.
Oh God.
To accept, press.
Oh God. It's probably best that he do go and get out the way. Eastside Harold with his. Here you go.
Yes, sir.
May God have mercy on what he getting ready to say.
Okay.
I'm doing fine, Eastside. How you doing, sir?
Oh man. Yeah, you were speaking on D-Hop, man. D-Hop is a fringe Hall of Fame player. And you know he only has 4 drops in the last 3 seasons.
That's incredible.
You know how many CeeDee Lamb has?
Yeah, how many you got? You're quite sure you have the stats right in front of you.
No, sir. No, sir. But, you know, it's just a comparison. I just want everybody to keep poo-pooing D-Hop. That's just giving the Texans in the running for D-Hop. See, they stand already met with him. He gonna see what's out there. And I think people just really haven't even paid attention to football. The way they talking about him, he was never a speed guy. He was never, a burner. But you look at his stats, and he's a Cooper Cup. But the praise they give Cooper Cup, for some reason they just poo-poo D-Hop.
Well, it's because D-Hop
poo-pooing him.
It's because he got suspended and he got hurt as well too. That's the only reason why. He's a great player.
Yeah.
He's a great player, but he's
Call from
Coach Mall.
Oh Lord, Coach.
To accept, press 1.
Okay. Yes. Hold on. Hold on. All right, hold on.
No.
All right, I know you there, Eastside. Please, please hurry up and finish with your dream of having D-Hop in Houston. Go ahead. Lord,
man, what happened, man? You put on the elevator music?
Man, I had to have a call come in. I got them on. I'm just letting you get your last couple seconds in before I hang you up. Because to be honest with you, you really ain't talking about nothing. But go ahead.
Hey man, you broke up the D-Hop. I'm just saying, hey, we in the mix, and I know you just as you think the Dallas is relevant. Houston is just right there with y'all. So, you might as well
right there.
If you root for Dallas.
Right there is the reason
you might as well
why.
root for Houston too.
Right there for you to make a statement like this is the reason why I'm gonna say this to you. Have a good evening, Eastside. Thank you, sir. Cause you ain't talking about that. Goodbye. Thank you, sir. All right. I got the foolishness. You goodbye, Eastside. Eastside, is that you, Coach Ma?
Yeah, that's me. It's making me laugh. Man.
Yeah, man.
That's making me laugh, man.
Don't you ever put Houston at the Houston, Texas, Dallas Cowboys in the same sentence? Are you crazy? what is wrong with him? But anyway, what's up, Coach?
I think Eastside wants to be a Cowboy fan. Yeah. Well, hey, man, big show. Man, listen, man. I think the excitement of this season, it has a twofold effect. One, with the years of us getting better. I mean, it's a building process, and we have been building, and I like what we did of getting even duplicating our record from the year before. Even it could have even been a better record from last year. Should have been. And we went one step further in the playoffs. It's a building process. It doesn't happen overnight with a team. Sometimes when you're in the building process, but I think sometimes it makes us so skeptical about certain things, and we are sitting with the unbelief, and sometimes I think we're punishing this team with the transgressions of the teams before, and we think certain things. But we understand coaches are different, teams are built different, so they don't do the same thing. The other day you were talking about the running back situation. As I've been saying, I've been a Zeke Elliott fan, but I hadn't been on no show or nothing that said that. I definitely want Ezekiel Elliott back. I mean, if he does come back, I think he's going to be. Film tells me that we're going to miss him. I think sometimes we see a 1 yard gain and we say, "Oh man, Ezekiel Elliott." And if you really watch the film, if his name was Earl Campbell, he would have got number 1 yard on those runs. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of those runs were just dead before they even started. So. But I think the Cowboys' system of commitment to the run, as you listen to Schottenheimer, he listened to what he's saying about the importance of the running game and running the ball when teams know you're going to run it and passing the ball when teams know you're going to pass it. Is about football one-on-one, where you have to, in football, you have to impose your will on people in certain situations, and you can't trick guys. You can't just say, oh man, they think we're going to run, we're going to pass it, and it's going to be there. Sometimes you have to impose your will, and you have to win battles up front. That's why I don't really question the running back room. I think a lot of people shortchange Robert Jones. I think too. Sometimes it don't. I don't listen. If you get to, you got to know the context before you say, well, he didn't do nothing last year at Kansas City. He was a late pickup for Kansas City in training camp, where they had Clint Isaiah. I can't say his name. The guy from LSU was their starting running back. Had a great season before. They had McKinnon there as a running back, which was their speed back. And then they drafted a guy, but they picked him up because they were trying to pick up access, because they were still trying to figure out how they were going to place the offense production from the wide receiver that they traded.
Yeah, number 10 guy. The number 10.
Right.
His name was,
Right. So the starter guy from LSU, he played well during the season, but he got hurt. McKinnon got hurt. Right. And Robert Jones was just out the mix because he started out not a number 2 guy. He started out as a number 3 or emergency guy, and he just didn't get no carry. The year before that, his stats, other than touchdowns, I think he had like 6 touchdowns, but other than touchdowns, he gave you the same stats that Ezekiel Elliott gave.
He
900 some yards.
He also has fresh legs, coach.
Right. So he's 25 years old.
Yeah, he got fresh legs.
Tony Pollard, and let me let's kill the words about Tony Pollard. One, Tony Pollard had a broken fibula and a very bad high ankle sprain. He didn't have a broken ankle, he had a broken fibula. That is a 12-week injury. 12 weeks. If that was to happen like week 1 of the regular season, there would have been a possibility he could have been back for the end of the regular season. That would have been late, but it's a possibility he could have been back. When he comes out for minicamp, not mandatory minicamp, but when he's out there for minicamp, even though he's going through walkthrough, as well as just running on the side, he's going to be there day 1 training camp. That's if we got a problem with him being healthy, or worried about him being healthy, he wouldn't have participated all in voluntary minicamp. So I think Tony Pollard is going to be okay. I think Robert Jones is going to be okay, and I think Davis is going to be something. And then you got another guy in there with the young kid. Was always a Rico Dowell fan. Rico Dowell went to South Carolina, been here in South Carolina. But Rico Dowell hadn't been healthy a whole year since high school. That was his problem in college. Every year in college, he was hurt. He would have a great game. He looked everybody, Rico Dowell, and then the next thing he get hurt from a hamstring to a crack hip to a knee to a elbow, a shoulder. He stays hurt. I think he's a camp body. He's a guy that if he can make the practice squad, if one of the guys go down, he can come in and fill a role. Not a dominant role, but he can come and fill a role, as well as he maybe can fill a role on special teams. But I think, again, this team is going to carry 4 running backs and a fullback.
I think
so that means we're not going to carry as many wide receivers. And we're going to utilize those people where if you utilize them in a way, it'll be great. Now, my mixture for the running backs this year, I think I posted on Twitter. I think Tony Pollard should have around about 220 carries. That's about 225, 230 carries. That's about 35, 40 more than what he had last year. I think you're going to get 130, 140, 50 carries out of Robert Jones. I would love to see Davis and the young guy from Kansas, Kansas State, Deuce Vaughn, and together probably will walk out 100 carries. That's together in 16 games. That's not a lot. But the pass reduction, I think you're going to see Tony Pollard. I would love to see Tony Pollard in the 60 to 65 catch range. That's not unbelievably crazy. Tampa Bay had 2 running backs last year that had over 50 catches. So if he gets that, I would love to see Jones can catch the ball out of the backfield. He has been in that type of offense. If he gets 35, and if you get your Deuce Vaughn gets about 35 catches this year, 35, 40 catches this year, I think that's enough touches for his rookie, and with a package built for him to be productive.
Yeah.
If you get those type of numbers, you're talking about at least about 30 carries a game. And as well as Dak Prescott had to have this year between 35 to 40 carries a game. I believe that this offense is going to allow him to carry the ball, but not in a very safe manner, but not in a very crazy manner. But it's going to be a thing where he's going to get a carry, 2-3 carries a game, which is always going to break and always going to help the defense set up other things, because this is going to be a Russell Wilson type offense. So I just think that the maturity level of this coaching staff is going to be paramount in this. Big Show, I want you to help me with something. And I'm going around and getting some people to help me with this. I heard Michael Parsons talk, and it was so refreshing when he was talking about how he wants and how the maturity level you've seen in his voice, as well as I think he's had a conversation with Quinn, and when he says he wants to be an impact player. Yeah. He's not chasing sacks. He wants to be an impact player. That's why I say you can't pigeonhole, and he understands that you can't pigeonhole a great athlete like that at one position and let them to be an impactful player.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people love the pass rush, but I want to push this out, and I want Michael Parsons to hear this. And if he can hear this, I believe he's that type of guy that is talented as him. Mm-hmm. I want Michael Parsons to be the first guy in NFL history, which I think he can do this. 135 tackles, 17 sacks, and 3 interceptions. That has not been done by any other NFL player, defensive player, and that is impactful, will make him impactful in the running game, the passing game, and all levels of field, and he would have to be moved around to do this, but that could be historical. And that would give him, not leading 25 sacks, but 17 sacks, 135 tackles, and 3 interceptions. And the reason I say he can do this is because Bobby Wagner the last year, without having all this defensive lineman play last year, had 125 tackles, 3 interceptions, and 6 sacks. Mm-hmm. So why we can't think Michael Parsons can't have 17 sacks, 135 tackles, and 3 interceptions?
Oh yeah.
That's in the range of possibility for him, and it will make him a unique player that is what we call a unicorn, and that will set the mark for players to reach that has never been done before. And I believe he's that type of lion that can do that. But just playing defensive end, he's not going to get that 135 tackles. I think he ended last year like 55 tackles, 56 tackles. 135 tackles, 17 sacks, and 3 interceptions. I believe this young man can do that, and that will make him historic player, and there will be no range about the money. I leave you with this. Diggs is the guy on the board. They need to go ahead and sign Diggs. There is nobody out there signing guys early before their time, because if that was the case, all these other great wide receivers we talking about will already have their contract. But everybody's going to wait till their 5th year, and then they'll get the money. Yeah. So this is Diggs' time, because his contract is up. They would handle Diggs. Diggs is going to be a $20 million cornerback, but they can make it fit for Jerry Jones has to write the $20 million check. He had to write the big signing bonus check up front. And he hadn't done that since Dak Prescott's contract 2 years ago.
You have to do it now. You're going to get some practice with that.
That's all you got to do. But Big Show, let's push the A, man. Think about that. Because Dak can make Michael Parsons. And I believe if this young man does that, he will be dominant in the running game because it's tackles. He'll be dominant in the passing game. And he will be the guy to make everybody else on this team better. And that will be impactful. He would be a complete football player that we have never seen before because those stats have never been done before in the NFL.
Exactly. Appreciate you, Coach. As always.
Appreciate you, brother.
All right, man. All right. That was the one and only Coach Marv. We always appreciate his input. Those stats that he just brought out are not so far-fetched for Michael Parsons. That's just a matter of positioning and how to play him. Don't put him in a box. He's proven to be not an in-box type player. He can line up in so many different ways and have impact in so many different spots. He's just as effective as rushing up the middle as he is on the edge. As a linebacker, he gets his head in there. He can do that. He can play any position as far as linebacker goes, and let's not forget that he has put he's put more pounds on. And so I believe he's able to even get in the middle comfortably now. And play even middle linebacker, the spot that LV plays. I'm not saying LV needs to sit down. I'm saying that he won't get so swallowed up as easy because he has the weight now that can plus and mix that in with the explosiveness that he always have had. That makes him a very dangerous type of guy. So plus another year of experience and plus another year with Dan Quinn. So you expect something good to happen with him. I'm in full agreement with that. Those stats that Coach Marv was trying to put on him, that's not so far-fetched. That can happen. Without a doubt. All right, everybody. Listen, I said, when can I get that Coach Marv time? Never. Never. On the east side, I can answer that for you real quick. Never, because we're talking Cowboy talk. And when you talk Texan talk, your time is just about over soon you say hello. So when you say hello, when you say D'Amico Ryan, when you say CJ Stroud, when you say D Hop, you say Will Anderson, when you start talking about the Houston Texans, then especially when you say the Houston Texans and Cowboys on the same level, your time just dropped so fast. Soon you say hello, it's almost like Richard Pryor did on that comedy show album. I ain't gonna call the name, but you gotta go way back to go find that one. He said when he was talking about Dracula, he said Richard Pryor said, it wouldn't have been good for a black person, but he said as soon as Dracula spoke, he said the movie will only last maybe about a minute and a half. He said when Dracula showed up and said hello, he said the black man would have said goodbye. The movie would have been over right then. That's what I'm trying to tell you about you when you start talking about the Houston Texans. Soon as you say hello, soon as you say Texans, when I hear Houston, you ain't got to say Houston. As long as I hear the syllable, Hugh, that's it. I'm all it. Appreciate your call. Goodbye. That's what I'm going to say. Appreciate your call. Goodbye. Hey, y'all, listen, I am out. I've worked some of you know I work at a school. School is out now. So as I told you before on the last couple shows, you'll be seeing my face a whole lot. I will be with you guys a whole lot now. I'll be on in the mornings. I'll be on in the evenings. I'll be on just turn on the notification. I will be with you guys a whole lot more for this whole summer until I gotta go back to work as far as that school goes. So get ready for that. I appreciate you guys hanging with me. Thanks for everybody that was in the comment section. Thank you, Eastside, for the $2 super chat today. Appreciate you for that. Those who listen on this replay, appreciate you taking the time to check it out. I'll be with you soon. All you gotta do is just turn on that notification. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me. Thank you to those that were on Podbean as well. I appreciate y'all. I'm out of here once again. This has been, we made another show, y'all. This has been the Big Time Show.